What's going on, y'all? It's GameTime Audible. Your boy Big E is in the building. And of course, as always, I have the sports guru himself, Hugh Lee, in the house. What's going on, Hugh?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, E?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to kick it with the folks and talk some sports with us this evening. I'm looking forward to it. Among the topics we're going to talk about tonight on the show, y'all, are some of the following. We're going to get into the NFL free agency and the franchise tag player discussion, talk about some of those guys, where we think they may be going, their value or their worth for franchising, and that type of stuff. Also, we are going to kick it about the NBA All-Star Game, our thoughts in regards to that. Going to talk about the Tokyo Olympics. Something very interesting was said about that I think we definitely need to get into. The potential CFL XFL merger. We're going to talk about that a little bit. It's been reported that those two leagues are talking about merging together. We're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to talk LeBron James and him not endorsing the vaccine. And of course, got to talk March Madness because we got championship weekend going on. And we definitely want to get into a discussion about that in regards to the big dance and all that good stuff. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight on the show. We also going to have a conversation about the NBA Hall of Fame finalists, some of the people on that list, and are they worthy or not? We'll talk about that as well. But of course, we also want to talk to you guys and want to know what you got going on. What up, though? Lee Robeson, what's going on? What up, though? I see Cousin Tony checked in. What's going on, fam? Hopefully, we get more people in the building as we go ahead and go to this commercial break. If not, y'all know what to do. Y'all go ahead and share the live and let them know that we are in the building and we're ready to talk sports with you guys. So we're going to hit this commercial. When we get back, we're going to get into the show. This is Game Time Audible. That dude right there, that's Hugh Lee, the sports guru himself. And I am your boy E Beezy, Big E. And we will be back after these commercial messages. Get off my lawn is what we talking about on this next one. Check it out. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's not it. Stand by, y'all. Stand by.
You had some vodka in that Arizona iced tea.
Hold on. Let's go here.
Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Ridge Bible Assembly in River Ridge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love. What's up, everybody? Eric Buckner here. You know me as EB, Young Easy, Eric Buck, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm here to kick it with y'all about this little podcast I've been doing. You know, I talk trending topics. I talk about the stuff we as people need to talk about. I talk about some things, actually, that people kind of want to shy away from because we got to have these discussions, folks. That's how we get better. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hold on. Yeah, so anyway, you know, I do it Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. You can check it out on Facebook, on YouTube. You know, it's a good show. I say get into it. Yeah, you want to know the name of the show? You said, hold on. Hey, you, get off my lawn. Yeah, anyway, that's the name of the show, by the way. Get off my lawn. Check it out Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Let me go handle this. This is the Nighthawk Network. Our voices for our people. Nighthawk Network.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Unscripted talk on police reform and race relations.
And now, behind the blue curtains, law enforcement liaison, retired 32-year Chicago police veteran, homicide detective, former commander, sergeant, grant writer, lecturer, and adjunct professor, Joseph J. Mosley.
Behind the blue curtains, minister of common sense, former 12-year Fort Worth police officer, educator, voice of reason, and unapologetic practitioner of sound judgment, the young scholar, LaRonda Young.
Behind the blue curtains co-host, fact checker, and investigative journalist Isidoro Rodriguez.
The views and or opinions expressed here on GameTime Audible is that of the host and or guests, and does not necessarily reflect those of the Nighthawk Network or its affiliates. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. What's going on, y'all? This is GameTime Audible. I am Big E, and that right there is the sports guru himself, Hugh Lee. We are here to talk sports with you guys this evening. As always, we encourage you to join in the comments and let us know your views and opinions in regards to what we're saying. And we also want to hear from you as well. So please go ahead and chime in as we get these discussions going. First off, this evening we are going to talk about NFL free agency and franchise tag discussion. As you know, it is about that time of year. The hot stove league in the NFL is about to heat up big time, and already the fallout has begun. We're going to have my man, the sports guru, kind of break it down for you guys in regards to that. Go ahead, Hugh. Break them off.
Man, some of the guys I seen on here was pretty interesting, man, because I really thought that the Giants defensive lineman Leonard Williams was going to walk at first, but then they felt like he was a huge asset to the team. And I definitely think with Joe Judge and how well that team played at the end of the season, because at first we all looked at the Giants as a laugher team this year, man, but they actually balled out, man. They're one of the teams who kind of gave the Bucs a struggle, man. They went toe-to-toe with them guys. It was like some people called it a phantom call at the end of the game that cost them that game. But all in all, the Giants is one of them up-and-coming teams, man. I give them a couple more years with Joe Judge, and I think they're going to do well. So they had to franchise their best defensive lineman. And what surprised me, too, was Brandon Shreve from the Washington football team. I thought that they were going to sign him to a big deal, but I just don't think they came to an agreement right now. But then that's the good thing about the franchise tag. I don't think a lot of the teams are using the franchise tag, what it's really for. I'm going to educate some of y'all if y'all don't know what it's about. When you use that franchise tag, you put that franchise tag on the players. And when you put that on the players, that's to extend their actual, contract talk. And most times, if it go well, you can say, okay, well, we're going to, through the franchise tag, extend the player. Or if it doesn't go well, you can go your separate ways. So that's what I feel like. They abuse the franchise tag nowadays. I feel like a lot of the owners and the organizations, what they have done lately, they'll say, we're just going to franchise a player and let it ride out that year. And if it works out, it works out. And if it don't go well, we'll just let them walk. But yeah, I feel like this year is going to be a really interesting year because a lot of the talented players on some of these teams are going to leave. But I feel like the best thing that could have happened was some of these franchise tags. And I think one of the best ones on the list right now is going to go to two receivers, actually. I can't say one. It's two receivers who stayed at home. And I felt like it was more than necessary because these guys was well sought out. And I felt like these were the best two guys on the market was the Bears wide receiver, Allen Robinson. I felt like a lot of people underestimated him, man. That guy had like 2 seasons. I think only him. And if I'm not mistaken, it was him and I'm not sure if it was Julio Jones, but it was a huge big time player. And him and Allen Robinson were the only two receivers to have 96 receptions and have over 1,000 yards within the last 2 years span. And I've never really seen that guy drop a ball, E. So I feel like he would have been a huge asset in free agency. But I feel like Chris Godwin was a smart move too. And I thought that was a win-win because he didn't mind playing on the franchise tag. We don't know how long Brady's deal going to be or how long he's going to be with that team. I give it probably another year or two, kind of like the a la Peyton Manning deal. So get it while the getting's good right now with that team. I feel like if they can at least get him on a year, 2 year deal at man, I think they'll be winning. But I just feel like some of the guys could have walked, and I looked at it like the tackle on the Jaguars, Cam Robinson. I think they got him at a discount, but I would have let him walk. I feel like right now it's a lot of good guys in the draft, and you're going to have some big time offensive tackles, but I just felt like they didn't think it was enough for them to actually let him walk. But the big news to me was the safety from the Broncos, man. I think he's one of the top three, if not top five safeties. Justice Simmons. I think Justice Simmons is like one of the better players, man, and he don't really get that big of a pub or the props because they don't play on TV as often. But yeah, I feel like it was some good guys that they kept, but some of the guys I feel like that they didn't keep and release were some of the big assets, man. Because I think in free agency, man, it's gonna be like it's more or less like hot stove, but I think we're going to see a lot of people spending a lot of money, but some people need to be careful too because that franchise tag, you know, is there. But at the same time, you got to sign some of these players or your team through the free agency and the draft. So yeah, make sure your money right because it went from the 198 million to 182.5 million this year. So it's possible that it's going to be a lot more cuts within the next few days before the free agency hits.
And I think it's important that you bring that out, Hugh, the fact that they have cut down the amount of the salary cap this year, obviously because they did not make the type of profits that they would during a normal NFL season. When you basically got a season where most franchises got zero fans in the seats, that definitely leads to less profits overall. So that's less money that they're willing to play with, which is, that is that part there. Not to mention the fact that we get close to time for the contracts to be up and them to renegotiate the new bargaining agreement in the NFL. So usually when that time comes, you have those situations where they start to try to manipulate the money and the dollars a little bit. So I know that came into play too. In regards to you talking about Allen Robinson, I definitely feel like not only was he I won't even say the best receiver on the Bears, he was the only real receiving threat that they had, truth be told. And without him, they are in a place to where they don't have him on the squad. They need at least one, if not two receivers to replace the type of production that he adds to that particular franchise. So there's that. As far as goes in terms of Tampa Bay, we know there's several weapons for Brady to choose from. Keep in mind, though, he was probably the most consistent one in terms of receptions and not dropping the ball because, as you know, early on in the season, that was a big-time problem in Tampa Bay with a lot of receivers, even people like Mike Evans and Gronk was dropping balls from Brady. So, somebody like that, that's a quality possession receiver, he definitely should get a pretty good sum out there in the marketplace. But that being said, if he's about championships, I would definitely think that he would at least sign a 1 or 2 year deal, like you said, to come on back and get another ring or two before he move on and try to get some more money. Him still being a relatively young man in the league, that definitely would be something I would look to do.
Mm-hmm. That got 25, man. So he still got a lot of opportunity.
Yep. So basically, let's look at this free agency list. There is hold on, I do believe we have that available for you guys to see as well. Stand by.
Yeah, the top 10.
Oh no, we do not. Did not put that on. My bad, y'all. My bad. But we got it here for you, so we're gonna talk about it right quick. It's all good. We'll break it down for you. Okay, the list there, here you have it there. Among
yes, sir.
said list are the following individuals that I definitely wants to bring up in regards to free agency. Stand by. We have one of the key people that I thought was a young man by the name of Hunter Henry. He is the tight end for Los Angeles Chargers, and he is very productive when he is available to play. I assume that they have cut him loose at this point because of the injuries that he's had in the last couple of years that has made him not available full time to them. I mean, you got to think about it. They got Herbert over there. He is killing the game right now. He is the unsung rookie of the year in terms of NFL quarterbacks, and he's only going to get better now that he'll have a chance to do OTAs and a full preseason and all that. You definitely want to have weapons for that guy to throw to, and one of the key people I thought would be a major part of that is Hunter Henry. But because they have cut him loose, I'm interested to see if they choose to replace him or basically not concentrate so much on tight end and work on getting some more quality receivers there. What you think, Hugh?
Man, they better keep Hunter Henry, man. He one of his security blankets. I feel like he didn't get enough play with Hubbard, but I feel like, man, him is a threat at the tight end. He can go anywhere, and they can plug and play him, man. I know people licking their chops right now, and it's funny this year too because we talked about before. One of my squads, man, the New England Patriots, they struggled because they didn't have that Gronk type presence when he left, and they actually really didn't go after like coveted tight ends. It was at one point they were interested in Jared Cook, but he already signed that contract with the New Orleans Saints. But Hunter Henry is like a dominant guy. He can block in, he can catch the passes. But at the same time, what his issue is, and I agree with you, he is his durability. That guy can't stay healthy, and that's what you need, man. And you know how these NFL teams are, man. 1 minute you the most loved, and you could be in a mansion to the basement in like 1 year. And that's what it was. Or what have you done for me lately? And it's unfortunate too, but this year, while the cap being lower, a lot of those guys were cap casualties, the ones who got released. So, yeah, I still feel like he can play, man, and he could go on the team right now. He probably won't make as much money because it's they'll look at him like, well, yeah, you did good over there with the Los Angeles Chargers, but then you got to prove your productivity over here. And health is one of the key things for him right now.
Right. Another thing is, what the hell is Green Bay thinking? They haven't locked up Aaron Jones yet. You know how productive he's been for them. What do you think the thinking is there?
You know what's crazy, man? They better try to lock him up soon, man, because if it get to the point where I'm not even thinking it's going to be March the 14th. You know how we say March the 14th. I think 12 o'clock midnight going into that night, somebody going to grab a man. I don't know if you heard right now that the Miami Dolphins are interested in getting him right now. And Aaron Jones was one of their key players, man. He was one of the top 2 receiving running backs to me last year, man. And it was just impressive to see him play, man, because not only can he run the ball, he was part of their offense when it came to receiving, because we looked at them like we thought that they're on drugs the way they handle things there, man. They didn't even draft a receiver, but yet they ended up getting another quarterback. So it was kind of iffy, a lot of question marks there. But to let him at least test the free agent market, I don't think would be a great idea. They need to get him, and they need to keep him in the Green Bay uniform, man.
Absolutely. Hold on a minute, Hugh. Actually, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get into this a little bit more. A little technical difficulty we're experiencing right now, but we ought to fix it for y'all. Be right back. GameTime Audible. Stand by.
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
All right, y'all. We are back. This is GameTime Audible. That is the sports guru Hugh Lee. I am your boy Big E. We are talking NFL free agency and franchise tag right now. Had a couple quick difficulties to deal with. We have got them back under control, so now we are back on the air, ready to talk some more. When we left off, we were talking about Aaron Jones. Green Bay definitely needing to sign him. Him being one of the most productive running backs in the last couple seasons. I definitely feel like it would be a big mistake. They don't lock him up and soon. You do not want that brother feeling some type of way. We already see how Green Bay is kind of dealing with their superstar people, and particularly one young Aaron Rodgers. And you don't want to slight your running back as well. That's going to make for a very bad environment in the locker room overall, I think, if you don't lock him up as soon as possible. But another free agent I want to talk about, Hugh, is known as Kenny Galladay, the fine receiver that's from the Lions.
You already know what's up with that. You already know. I think he gonna go. We was talking about that too. We said Matthew Stafford gonna at least get one of his weapons, you know. And right now, I was talking to one of my buddies, Mr. Eric Sandusky. I hope he's tuning in right now. And I was telling him, like, yeah, man. I said they need another weapon over there, man. With the Los Angeles Rams, I definitely love Robert Woods, man, but he's more of a slot receiver. He usually don't go deep. He's good on the seam and slant routes. You got Cooper Kupp as well, man. He's good. He's a more versatile one who can, you know, play on the inside or go on the outside and run deep. But he's one of those guys, too, that you can dish the ball off to, and he can get those yak yards, the yards after catch. But they need an explosive weapon over there. And Kenny Galladay, man, he could be that guy, man. I felt like when they had Brandon Cooks, he was explosive, and he gave them guys huge weapons. Hell, they went to the Super Bowl, man, with those type of weapons. That's the only thing I really felt like they were missing on the outside. They had a hell of a run game with Darren Williams over there, and I just felt like that was the only thing they were missing was a big-time physical receiver. And if they could get that over there, man, it's already bad enough that they're going to get Matthew Stafford. But, man, to see him over there, too, that'll kind of be a slap in the face for me, man. But I definitely feel like that's a team that's licking their chops right now if they don't get him and have him to a big deal. Because when I found out they wasn't going to actually franchise tag him, I said, man, that's a ballsy move. Hopefully y'all sign him to a decent deal.
Yeah, you got to understand, Kenny Galladay is probably one of the better scoring wide receivers in the NFL, particularly when you get down in the red zone. You got somebody about 6'4", 6'4.5". They got that wingspan, definitely can run as well as your speedy receiver, but yet got the hands and the size of a big receiver. And you definitely want somebody like that on the squad. We know he had his injury issue, but I honestly feel like it got to a point in the season where he was like, I know I'm about to go into free agency. I'm not about to risk getting injured worse, having to do surgery and that type of stuff. I'm just going to kind of ride out the rest of the season. You know, pretty much from the moment they fired the pencil Patricia on, the Lions was in reset mode. So at this point, we're not in a total reset mode here at the Lions, but I can kind of understand why Kenny Galladay would not necessarily want to stick around for that, even though I feel like we still have a reliable quarterback. Not quite as good as Stafford, mind you, but the quarterback formerly from LA that is here now, he can get the job done to a degree to where people like Galladay would definitely be beneficial to him. So I really don't see why the Lions have not opened up the purse strings and made that happen, considering that they pretty much let most of the receiving core go as it is to free agency. They got to sign one, I believe, and this is the one I feel they should sign.
I definitely agree with you, man. I've been seeing too, and I've been hearing a lot of rumors going on. You know how you hear little rumors going around and little whispers. They were saying after the release of Golden Tate he had something good here, and it was a good relationship with him here in Detroit, and that's another possibility that they can actually bring him back here. I know that he had the issues with Matt Patricia, and definitely the way he handled things here. I felt like he handled things so patriotic that that's where he's back at now. He's in that Patriot way mode, but I feel like he messed up a lot of the camaraderie here because he got rid of guys who were locker room presence and great players, man. You know, he shook guys out when I feel like if they had an issue or if they questioned his coaching style, man, which it was out there to be questioned, and just was really disappointed to see how things went with some of our good players because I felt like we were on the cusp of doing something, at least going to the playoffs, man. But when you cut all those guys that we had because they definitely didn't drink the Kool-Aid you had, I just thought that that was a bad situation. But I still feel like as much as I do like Golden Tate, I would still like to have Galladay back because I feel like he's a more physical present. He is a younger talent too, so I feel like that'll fit the bill.
I agree. I mean, speaking of free agents, throw a couple more people in the mix that we should be keeping an eye on, Hugh.
Man, one guy who I was surprised about was I thought that Jonnu Smith was going to be a free agent, and they had him out there, but then they ended up tagging him. I feel like he was the best tight end. He was top two at the least to me. And I know a lot of people going to be like, hold up, you. Of course, I feel like Kelsey was that guy this season because – and I'm gonna be honest with you, it could have been either way if Joe Kittle, if he was healthy. But then he had a real injured season. But Jonnu Smith was one of the best red zone targets, man, and he caught everything possible. He reminded me of a little bigger and more physical Delaney Walker, who actually played for the Tennessee Titans at the time. But by him being tagged, I feel like there's no way for them to do anything now but just sit back and see what happened. Hopefully, if they don't come to an agreement, I would like to see them out there on the free agent market. But one of the biggest name free agents to me right now, or a guy I haven't heard from or got signed, was Bud Dupree, man. And I know a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans gonna be sick about that, man. I feel like he had a breakout year last year, man. That's what made that defense run. Don't you notice when Bud Dupree got hurt, the defense took a step back? And it wasn't because of TJ Watt neither. Everybody was like, oh, TJ Watt is so great. And he was. But when Bud Dupree left, that took away from his presence, man. And I feel like them not signing him to a long-term deal was really a surprise, man, because I feel like if they mess around and Bud Dupree go to the right team, he could go to a championship contender as we speak.
Well, yeah, as you know, Hugh, in the past, Steelers ain't necessarily been big spenders when it comes to free agency or signing their own free agents either. Outside of course, Big Ben and maybe a couple other exceptions, for the most part, usually when it comes time to sign that person up, they usually either try to get them to get the hometown deal or they send them on their way.
And that's why I can't stand the Steelers too. They so New England Patriotish at one point because my boy was like, the reason you don't like them so much because they're the same. It's just like looking in the mirror, I want to know what's going to happen with Juju Smith-Schuster too, man. And, speaking of the Steelers, because that's one of their weapons right now. I don't feel like he's capable, number one. I wish some people chime in on that because I just, threw y'all something to chime in on. I don't feel like he's a number one. The reason why is because remember when Antonio Brown left, he was that guy. I just don't think he excelled and he played well in that place. Do I think the Steelers going to spend a lot of money on him? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I feel like they got a gym over there right now with the Claiborne kid, man. I feel like he was the number one receiver last year.
I have to agree with that.
The Washington kid was good, and he was explosive. But Claiborne is definitely he's definitely their guy.
Yeah. And like I said, at this point, I'm interested to see if they value Juju enough to pay him number one receiver money. Because, yeah, he could go out and open the market, but I don't think he's going to be a number one receiver anywhere else either. So I don't know if that's a risk that he should take.
I think he'll be a great complementary receiver.
Yeah, let's get into what people are considering the number one free agent right now. Trent Williams, the offensive tackle out of San Francisco. What do you think the upside to all that is, Hugh?
He has great upside, but the issue with him is, man, and I know I've been eating crow on this one, man. And when they had that draft, I definitely thought the Russell Okung was the better offensive tackle. Here we see what happened there now, man. The only issue I have on Trent Williams, and there's nothing negative, but his age, him being 33, and that's one thing I wanted you to look at too on our top 10, guys right now on the free agent list. At his age, he's 33. He's the oldest guy out there. He had a lot of injury issues too last season, but I still feel like, man, with a healthy season, I give him another solid good year or two. He can still make any team playoff contender or even a championship team because he's still one of the best, tackles in the game. And it's hard to get offensive tackles in the game to play for this long, man. Definitely at the age of 33 and he's on the wrong side of 30. That's the only issue I have with him. Other than that, I feel like he will be one of the best tackles all across the board.
Agreed. Okay. Time out, folks. Something not right here. Anybody in the room, could you please let us know? We need to know if we're still on the air right now. It is like definitely quiet amongst us. I see nobody popping in or anything. If anybody's out there and they see that we are on, they have any comment, type in ABC something. We just need to know if everything's working properly here. Everything looking all right on your end, Hugh?
Yeah, I definitely been looking and trying to see if anybody was on the board, man, and I haven't heard anything or seen anybody besides the one "What's up" though, and that was it.
Yeah, because I see my screen, but not everything appears to be working correctly. But for some reason, our room is definitely quiet. I don't know. Here's what we're gonna do, folks. We're gonna take another quick commercial break. We're gonna come back and reset a little bit, see if we can figure out some stuff from the technical issue. And when we get back, we will hopefully restart the conversation and go from there. This is GameTime Audible, y'all. We on the air. Hopefully you guys are seeing what we're talking about. If not, y'all better chime in and let us know y'all in the house.
right there, that's his thing. Black on, he don't know Tom. Look at that, David Ford, that's his thing. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes! Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
Black on, get into it. Black on, look at that David Ford right there, that's his thing. Black on, he don't know Tom. Look at that David Ford, that's his thing. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes! Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
Hey, what's going on? We are back. Very strange night here on GameTime Audible. Very rare for us to have these discussions, and we see nobody in the comments, nobody really joining us. Not quite sure if we're having some type of technical difficulty, or this is a bad night to talk about the sports with y'all. I don't know. Have we offended you guys? Y'all done hurt our feelings. I ain't got no emails in regards to that. Are we not giving you the content we want? Or maybe, like I said, maybe it's just a little too early for some of y'all, and y'all need a few minutes to reset. So that's what we actually gonna do. We gonna reset the show. So we are actually gonna return back at 10 o'clock and try this again. Hopefully everything is going well and we can figure out what we went wrong with and go from there. So we signing off for now, but we will be back at 10 p.m. to continue the second half of the show. 10 p.m. GameTime Audible. So if you are out there and you're wondering what's going on, we is too. So give us about 20 minutes and we'll be back to talk to y'all. All right? Peace out, y'all.